It's like we've got the blend here. We've got a person here who knows digital marketing like the back of his hand. We've got Poojan, the engineer. We've got some of the world's biggest names in marketing joined us because of you two.
So an agency and the Strique that we have been building, it's always been with the same intent. That if someone is paying me $200 a month, I really want to give him $1,000 back.
You need to add value to your clients.
But I don't actually care what the software is, only if it saves me money. Do you know on the average in the Western world how much scrolling they do a day?
I have no clue.
The height of the Eiffel Tower.
Really?
Solve $1 billion problem and you're a billionaire already.
Who came up with this idea? Because it wasn't me.
If it's a great idea, it has to be me.
Hello everyone, my name is Poojan Ajani and welcome to Strique Talks. Today we have two very special guests with us and these are the founders of Strique. Today we are going to have a very candid conversation about the founders of the Strique and how is it that we started Strique. We have Vatsal and we have Imran. Welcome to Strique Talks.
Thank you, Poojan. Thanks for having us.
Please introduce yourself. We start with Imran.
My name is Imran, based here in London. Been working with yourselves for quite a few years now. Kind of a strange story of how I got here. So background is been in IT tech for about 30 years. Got to board level of and did that for about 10 years for about a £1.3 billion company. From about 40, had a midlife crisis and decided I wanted to become an entrepreneur, and then set up with my wife, Emma, organic, sustainable children's brand that then became, in turn, the biggest in the world. Got to about 4,000 stores worldwide. And along that journey, I met you two very special people. And I think we'll develop that story because I think that's a story in itself after Vatsal's introduced himself.
The journey has been pretty short and crisp so far in terms of started back with Boston, was studying back in the day there, trying to understand how digital has been shaping up. And I'm talking about back in 2014, 15, 16 is the time when I was back there. Trying to understand how things are shaping up in the digital world, was doing some internship back in the day at the Boston Square, then moved to San Francisco, trying to understand how things are working out here in San Jose, which is nothing but what we call today as Silicon Valley. Came back to India in 2019, started an agency of my own, which currently manages an ad spends upwards of $100 million per year and team size of 200 people, globally located, just understood what different markets and different regions require. That's where I met Imran. That's exactly where I met you in terms of, and the idea of Strique came into place. So that's a short and crisp detail of how I started and what we have been doing so far.
Well, and to be honest, I think what I've enjoyed about this is that we're three very different people.
Exactly.
It's like we've got the blend here. We've got the person here who knows digital marketing like the back of his hand. The effervescent Vatsal comes in, everything's always amazing. His house could be on fire. It's just amazing. It's just brilliant. Nothing puts him off kilter. Very focused. We've got Poojan, the engineer, the person that's the creative behind, brains behind it, problem solving, also understanding the detail, the minutiae in it. And then myself, who is just the genius behind it all. Right? Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm slightly exaggerating that. No, but from my side, I don't have the skills that you two have, but I come from that. I've created the brands. I've used a digital marketing platform. I've used Vatsal. I've seen what frustrates me. And then when we started talking about Strique, that's what really. So we've got three very different perspectives of what Strique could be, can be, and should be.
So I think exactly.
That's what the interesting conversation for the people out there is, that hopefully they'll get something from each one about what business, whether it be business, whether it be the story that we've come to develop this tech.
I have never done an introduction on this show, but this is where I would like to talk a little bit about myself to the audiences. Back when he was in Boston, I was in I think 9th grade or 10th grade, and the amount of hard work that I had to do, and when I saw that you have to study for 12 hours, 18 hours a day, and even after that, you could barely get a job at a decent package. And I had a Lamborghini poster in my room. I asked my dad, how is it that I'm going to get this? no one in my family had done a business apart from him, because he is my brother, and my mom's side, they did all the business work. So his father owns a lot of business chains, and he was the guy I used to talk about. So that's when I got into the online space. Even before that, I used to sell all sorts of different stuff, get into the business world, because I realized that the only way that I'm going to I would consider that I have made in my life is if I have a Lamborghini outside my house. That was my definition back then.
Back then, yeah.
Back then, definitely. And that's when I started different businesses. My first business was called My House Decoration. I was a little too old to be a director in my own company. So I created my Shopify store. This is back in 2015, 2016, where I set up my Shopify store. I got the products from AliExpress, the traditional drop shipping, and lost a lot of money of my dad. And my dad was really mad at me.
Yeah.
And I used to talk with him, and he was making something of his own. I think it was called My Veggie app.
Veggiefoodsearch.com.
Veggiefoodsearch.com.
It was just something which eventually turned into something else. So I was doing a college project, which was nothing but required me to do a simulation, but nothing but a business model that I have to do what we call it as hackathon these days. And the whole intention was to create something that people can consume. So my understanding was, and when I was in US, it was really tough. I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat. I've never tried eggs and all of that. And it was really tough because all I was having is 12-inch of Subway, 6 in the morning and 6 at night, right?
Not a great diet. Not a great diet.
So I said, there has to be a different way in terms of how do we find vegetarian food option in different cuisines. So what I ended up is just scan through all the website directories in terms of if I want to have sushi, what does sushi has to offer when it comes to vegetarian? If I'm going Mexican, there would be some dishes in Mexican that might offer me vegetarian options. So I ended up creating nothing but a directory which allows you to search vegetarian options in different cuisines around the world. So that's how it started. And I was talking to him saying that, how do I do that? I have no idea. How do I make this website? How do I crawl different things? How do I get this information? And this is, again, back in the day, I would have been 21, 22, 23, something like that. He would have been around 15, 16, 17. He's surely 4 years younger to me. So that, and I reached out to him saying that, are you studying engineering? He's like, yeah, I'm trying to. So I said, why don't you help me out understand how can I do this leg? And then eventually that's how it started. And then it eventually culminated into a different business model, which I did with my friends, which was nothing but trying to understand what Boston as an equation was back in the days. You have got tons and tons of students coming in every single year. There are lots of different affinity of students that comes in. I've visited a lot of Indian restaurants, and what they do is they usually end up throwing their food, which was the leftovers, so that they give fresh food to their people. I ended up reaching out to them saying that, can you give all of this, what you're throwing to me, and I can just pack it. And I packaged it and gave it back to my college students. Again, no one dies in that.
Brilliant. Honestly, I love that story. That's a brilliant story, how you created income from that, knew the audience, and managed to pay yourself through university.
Had no other choice because cost of living was neither cheap, plus coming from Mumbai and going all the way up to Boston, which is one of the most expensive cities in the world, it becomes really tough. So at the end of the day, every hustler who wants to do something different has to figure out a way in terms of how to do things differently. And it was pretty exciting because we were discussing it with a few of my friends that how do we get the food, how do we get it disseminated to people. At the end of the day, we used to sell a lot of Indian stuff, and it was purely dependent on what we are getting from the restaurant, which wasn't sure. So at the end of the day, if someone comes onto the website and wants to have a gulab jamun, for example, he would see, oh shit, it went. And someone would come asking, what happened? I couldn't order it. I'm like, oh shit, we sold out in 10 seconds. And the fact of the matter is I couldn't get it because there was no leftover for me to sell it. And at the end of the day, when that happened and everyone started talking about, oh shit, their food gets sold out in 10 seconds and 12 seconds, while that was just a made up story because I had nothing else to sell because I didn't get it the other day. There was a sourcing problem. But yeah, that's how it started, understanding what people need, trying to figure out what can we sell it to these people, what the requirements could be, and that's how it went.
So interesting, Poojan, we was talking about, businesses earlier on, and I was saying to you, and I don't like to use the word failed, but I had 5 businesses before one became very big. And the other ones taught me a hell of a lot, So whilst they didn't succeed financially, They taught me what I should and shouldn't do for my each next one. So I think we've come with a whole wealth of experience too here of things we should do, things we shouldn't do. And I think that's what we've put a lot of our learnings, from whether it be the performance marketing agency, whether it be, the brands that we've created into this product, Strique.
Yeah. So if I have to sum it up, the one learning that I had is which I again share with Vatsal and we all of us agree, is that you need to add value to your clients. If it's a case of a B2B and if it's a case of D2C, they need to see the value.
I come from business, I come from brands, and if I speak with you guys, when I've had, from a digital marketing or software point of view, I said to you about the software, I only install software. I don't actually care what the software is, only if it saves me money. So if I can see a piece of software is going to make my business more efficient and I can get some readily available money from it, I'll install it. It's very, very simple. All the fireworks around it are irrelevant to me. And that's what, hopefully that's what we've done with Strique, is we've thought long and hard is what can make a difference to people? What can make a difference to businesses, agencies, brands? And we've incorporated that into our product so that it becomes very easy for them.
Exactly. So this was our whole proposition, that while we were running an agency, we saw that people used to clock in at 11:30. And when the clients used to call them saying that, where's my report? Today is Monday. They would say, let me reach office and I will prepare the report and I will send it to you by EOD.
Yeah.
And the client would get furious. He would call Vatsal saying that, why is he talking like this? I need data at every morning, every Monday. That's what our deal said, that you will send us weekly reports. And even after so many tries, all of the people at the agency, all they used to do is just open up multiple tabs, copy the data, paste it into spreadsheets, take a screenshot, put it into PowerPoint, and then send it to the wrong client.
Yeah.
So that was something which was really, I would say, a learning curve or something like, this is such an obvious thing to fix. The data, if it gets sent to a different client, that's a deal breaker for most of them, because all of that data, the ad spends, the revenue, which product is working, what is the plan of action, what's the strategy, that is confidential information. And that it can't be the case that that data gets out to someone else. So that was our main point of our USP, saying that this is what Strique would do. Strique would connect to all the platforms that you have. It will analyze all the data that is important to you. So if you are into e-commerce and if you are a campaign manager, you would see all the campaigns that are performing. You can filter it out, sort it out by your definition of what's working and what's not working. It might be different for you, it might be different for him. Assuming that Vatsal is the CEO, he doesn't care about the user acquisition analysis. He just cares about the revenue. He just cares about the ROAS. He just cares about how much money is he making. If that's the case, a different report gets created for him. If you are a business analyst who's working only on Amazon ads, you can have a separate Amazon widgets on a different report. There is no one size fits for all. Everything has to be custom made, custom tailored to the business requirements.
I think the learning journey, so when we originally, you told me about Strique, look, we're developing something like this. I flew out to India. I actually had a look at it because we were ahead of the curve. We were, and I looked at it and we looked at it. And I said, Poojan, it's an amazing concept, but from a business point of view, it needs development to become the product it has now become. Yeah, because it looked more like the cockpit of a space shuttle. Yeah, I was thinking, but I could see that concept. And one of the greatest examples, again, and I'm coming, and I don't apologise for this, I come from a business point of view. There's two stories here. When he installed it in my company, what I said to the people was, you used to spend 5-6 hours creating these reports. Don't come now to me explaining me these reports, because it doesn't take any time. I can see these reports. I can tell, you can explain to me what we need to do to make it better. You've got now an extra 5-6 hours. And I said this to your guys as well, because this has now taken us So all our time is now based on how do we do analyzing. But one of the greatest things it gave to me was that insight, the AI summary. The AI summary part of it was fantastic, in terms of business added value. For me, we're not going now into taking loads of times of just showing me data which we can't react to. It's now the AI insights is now saying, okay, for example, the Bristol story is I was getting good ROAS within Bristol. It was showing as one of the tops, but my returns in Bristol were high. So actually the net, and so the AI summary was actually saying to me, don't put all your money in Bristol, give some to Somerset. Somerset, although it's not as high, you're getting no return. So your overall ROAS it was giving me these type of things that working in conjunction with the team, with Vatsal, we could then, really increase the efficiency. And this is what Strique gives. When I speak to people, I'm not selling the tech. I'm not selling the individual. I'm saying put it in and just see how it improves your bottom line. So it's probably a different sell. I don't know how you speak to when you describe Strique. How do you say it to people? Because it'd be interesting to see how your approach is.
See, at the end of the day, when I've worked with, say, hundreds and hundreds of marketers, and I keep telling this in all my pitches or all the clients that I work with, that any agency you work with, any marketers you work with, there's plethora of information that exists into the ecosystem, right? From your CPMs to your CPCs to your thousands of campaigns and ad sets and ad groups that you have been working across. There's information across your landing pages, to your best performing landing pages, to your sessions, to your outbound percentages, to your which products, which categories, which inventory has been flowing in which direction. There's so much of information for you as a marketer. You really want to go through all these information and make the right possible call for your business. When you flood through with so much of information, you really end up missing on the key important points. That, hey, exactly. The problem was that at the end of the day, my add to cart to purchase ratio, which should be ideally standing at around 30-35% based on to your periodic historical information, what I need to do is it has gone down by 25%. That means the people are coming to add to carts and now they're dropping off at the checkout page. There's significantly something wrong either on my website. It can increase on the load time, or I can quickly go back, increase my bottom of the funnel, which is nothing but my remarketing campaign money, which can be in 1, 3, 5, 7, 15, in the number of days from the T. I want to remarket you and get those people converted. Now there's so much of information and noise that exist in the ecosystem that marketers really get bogged down in terms of what exactly am I supposed to do here. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I always keep on hearing from the people in my team, specifically back in the day, and still, I'm optimizing the campaign. What the hell are you optimizing, guys? At the end of the day, when I talk about optimizing the campaign, turning on campaign, turning off campaign, changing your creatives, changing your copy, changing your targeting, what else would you do apart from these 5 things? So at the end of the day, when you're saying you're optimizing the campaign, the problem might not be in the campaign in the first place. The problem can be your best-selling category has gone out of stock. All of a sudden, your website, which was loading in 3.5 seconds, has currently gone on to 13 seconds. Yeah. So your outbound percentage, which used to stand at 95, that means 100 people were clicking on your ad, 95 of them were reaching onto your landing page. It has currently gone down to 55. That means the same amount spent is just giving 55 people onto your website as compared to 95. So the problem was not actually in the campaign in the first place. The problem was actually on the landing page. So there are so many different parameters that exist into the ecosystem, and the whole thought process was that marketers have to go through all these understanding across different platforms, different placements, different times, different week of the day, how their campaigns have been performing. Are some creatives working? Are some creatives not working? We said build a tech which nothing but gives more power to these people and quickly analyze something that's not working, quickly change and move on to something else. So all we were trying to build was build efficiencies across how people read information and take actions against it. And adding on to the first point that when we started, right, the whole thought process that has always been consistent in the businesses that I try and run with him, because we are pretty young in terms of the businesses that we do. It's an agency, and the Strique that we have been building, it's always been with the same intent. That if someone is paying me $200 a month, I really want to give him $1,000 back. That's the intention. So if I'm able to prove that, hey, you have been paying my platform a $200 fee as a monthly subscription, I need to guarantee you that I'll be generating more than $1,000 in return. So that has always been the conversation, because as long as you talk about revenues, everyone want to sit and listen, because all the jazzy stuff which people have been talking about since ages now, which are impressions, reach, clicks, SOV, new term, share of voice, right? And all these doesn't materialize into revenue. So what do I do of your impressions? At the end of the day, if people are not coming into my website and transacting, and that money is not coming back into my bank, it clearly makes no sense. Right? So the whole thought process has to be bundled in a sense, saying that whatever we do not only helps you save time, increase your efficiency, but also makes sure that you will get revenue in return guaranteed. So that was the thought process while we were building Strique, that what are the problems that agencies are facing? What are the problems that marketers are facing? What are the problems that brands are facing? Specifically when they do performance marketing campaigns, and all the problems that we clearly understood, we ended up building products around it. So the Strique catalog, or the feed engine, what we call it as, was a bigger sense of a problem, because at the end of the day, when you're working in a category like t-shirts, shirts, apparels, footwear, this industries come with a lot of problems, because at the end of the day, I really love the Nike Air Force One that you guys showed it to me. I really want to buy it. And now that Nike Air Force One's catalog ad has been remarketing me everywhere am I going. I'm opening Instagram, I see that ad. I open Facebook, I see that ad. I was reading an article on a Wall Street Journal, I still see that ad. And now when I'm clicking on that ad, I want to buy a size 9, right? And that's out of stock. So you might have size 6, size 7, size 12, size 11, but I needed size 9. And at the end of the day, every brand who's been selling some of the other products has to understand this, that running a DPA campaign, which is nothing what we call it as dynamic product ads, we remarket based on to what you have selected. So if you like that white t-shirt, I'll remarket you until the time you get transacting. And when you come onto the website back again, if you're not transacting on the first click or the second click or the third click, I really want to make sure that your desired size is available in it. So now that's a huge problem, that you have been spending so much of money remarketing the product which has the best selling size set has gone out of stock. Like historically, if you look at UK as a market or India as a market, for example, the highest selling size set is medium, large, XL. These are the 3 size set which compensates to around maximum amount of revenue. If your M goes out of stock, that means I've already lost 25% of my revenue from these customers. L goes out of stock, 50%. XL goes out of stock, 75% of my people who are buying, we don't have those inventory now. But I'm still remarketing because there's something left in small and there's something left in XL or double XL in that matter. Now, when I'm remarketing, I'm investing every impression that you see, because Facebook charges you on a CPM, which is cost per 1,000 impressions. So when you see those ads, you click on it, again, it comes as a cost to me. When you click on the ad and you reach to that landing page and you realize my product doesn't exist anymore because I was looking for a size M and it's out of stock. So you're ending up spending so much of money, which is going into pilferage, because people really want to buy the size that they're looking at, while the algorithms are not built in a sense to be optimized on the sizes that are available to you on your website in the first place.
And just for everybody who's watching it, please don't adjust your fast forward. You haven't got ×2 speed. This is his natural speed of voice, okay? Please don't adjust your settings. So, Poojan, for me, this product, when you discussed it with me, was like, wow. Because I own ladies' clothing brands and children's clothing. So we have, sizes 0 to 1, 0 to 3, 3 to 6 months, etc., going all the way up. So listening from what Vatsal was saying, for me, the exciting bit is that by launching it, so if I get to understand what you're saying is I could have a product that's, let's call it, my best size is 1 to 2 years, right? We'll take that as an example. 1 to 2 years, it's out of stock. We can put in the Strique product feed that if it's out of stock in these sizes, 1 to 2, don't retarget using that. Yep. So that's saving us money, I'm presuming.
Yeah, you're putting a logic to your campaign saying that that's your logic. If M goes out of stock, reduce the visibility by 25%. L goes out of stock, shops showing it. Just
So
remove
you
it from
could
the
even
catalog.
then have incremental logic. So if
100%.
and there,
While we were discussing and with the clients of people who are into this industry, so there is a concept of variants and products. So Nike Air Force is a product, but size 7, size 6 are variants. Now, just going a little bit technical on how the remarketing actually works is that when you open a product, so the user journey is like someone goes to the landing page, they click on the product. So the product view content event is fired. After that, you add the product. So add to cart event is fired. After that, you do the initiate checkout. So the initiate checkout event gets fired. And after that, the purchase event gets fired. This is the user journey. This is how a e-commerce funnel looks like for most of the people. The retargeting campaigns are usually set up on Facebook or on Meta with the objective as catalog sales. And they try to create multiple campaigns. People who have viewed the content but not added to the cart, people who have added the cart but not checked out, people who have checked out but not purchased. In this context, the problem is that you view a product but you add to cart a variant, and the relationship is not linear. So the options that are there in the market, they are limited, and it's like they have multiple options, and all of the options have some caveats to it. So there are options like send only the first variant information to Facebook. Yeah. What happens if that variant is out of stock and I have all the other bestseller variants in stock? Yeah. Facebook says, or the app says, that's your lookout. And what we saw is that while there are brands who have multiple variants of these products, so brands like apparel brands, footwear brands, all of these, 50 to 70% of their revenue comes from catalog or DP ads from Google and Meta. And the rest of the ads, they take the user to a landing page where they have the collection ads. And then the user sorts them out on what is it that they want. Now, if we look at, let's say, if you have 500 products, if we take 3 variants per product, you have 1500 total variants. Now, when you take the users to a collection page where you have the product listing, it gets frustrating for many of the users because they see something else. And when they click on it, they are like, where's my product? Do I need to scroll it infinitely and do I need to browse all the 1500 products to view exactly the one which was shown to me earlier? If this is the case, then people just drop off. So this increases the bounce rate, this reduces your conversion rate, and overall revenue gets impacted. With catalog, what you can do is you can define which product comes up first. So if you think that your main bestseller size are out of stock, you have the option to remove that entire product from remarketing funnel. But you as a business owner, now you might say that I have dead stock of the XL size, of triple XL size and extra small size. What do I do with this? So you can create a clearance page where you add all of these products, and now you take the users to this specific page and you can sort it out based on the inventory, based on which are the products which you have the highest click-through rate on Facebook. Now that information gets trans-progressed to Shopify because this product was getting the highest click-through rate. This product was getting the least amount of returns. They would be pushed to the upper side. They will get higher visibility. There would be products which might not be the best sellers, but unfortunately they might have got zero visibility. Now, if a product is already pushed at the very bottom of the page, people are not seeing that product. If they don't see the product, how is it that we are even judging that product if it's a good product or a bad product? Those are the kind of things which allows you to retest and have a fully optimized and the most efficient way of running your Facebook ads and Google ads to get most out of your revenue.
Okay, so before I ask
just a quick one, who's the host, you or him?
I was thinking that it is looking like it was. Sorry, Poojan, if I snapped.
Go for it, Imran. It's your show.
I noticed when you talked about scrolling. This has nothing to do with Strique, by the way. Do you know on the average in the Western world how much scrolling they do a day on their phone?
I have no clue.
The height of the Eiffel Tower.
Really?
Every day, that's how much people are scrolling. That's just a bit of trivia for...
Most of this would be on Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts or...
Literally, that's Eiffel Tower every day. Than that. So back to Strique product feed, and then I'm going to have to hand the host over to you. What does that look like in terms of efficiency, conversion rate optimization? What is that? So all of this is amazing, but what does that mean to me?
It means more revenue. It means you don't have to worry about dead stocks. It means you do not have to give away the products which are not selling, thinking that this is a waste of money, or this is the products that I have to burn money, quite literally. Because while we were having the discussion the other day that what is it that you do with the stock that doesn't get sold? It's sitting for 2 years. And you said that you just gave it away as a giveaway or some contest or anything like that. But you paid for that.
Correct.
Money, right?
Yeah.
That's wasted money for you. Why is it that the whole proposition of the Strique feed engine is to make sure that you are running the most efficient ads via showing the right product to the right person at the right time, if I have to put it that way. So you can see on the dashboard saying that this was the revenue that you were generating from the catalog ads before, and now this is the revenue that you generate out of this. And the best part is it is free for now. We are in the technical preview right now, so you can use all the features. And best part, we are not just limited to Shopify. You can also, if you are on Magento, you can use that. And that is a huge problem that we saw brands facing, because there were a few brands that we had worked with who had hired a dedicated guy whose job was just to fill in the Excel sheets and push them to Google Merchant Center and Facebook catalog every single day.
Now, there are profiles which we call it as catalog manager. All they're responsible to is to do this, because at the end of the day, the bigger problem that these brands are having is understanding how much of dead inventories do you have. And that's one of the compulsions of why these brands are going every 6 months on end of season sale, trying to liquidate as much as possible and get those money back into the bank.
It is the biggest, honestly, for a clothing, apparel, footwear's even worse, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
For apparel, the worst thing in business is stock. And this is why I was so excited when you shared this with me. I can't get over how amazing this is. I'm not even, this is not because I'm part of it. I'm not saying, because I'll generally say if it's a rubbish product, I'll just say it's a rubbish product. I am generally so excited about this product.
Imran, we have been building Strique for a while. Like, I'll give you an example. The inception of building a product came in 2021, right? Back in the day, we said we need to build something of a technology of our own.
Yeah.
While and it's been so many iterations in terms of understanding what people want to read, what people wants to run through, and at the end of the day, what can genuinely help you generate more revenue.
Yeah.
Like, let me just give you a classic example. You created this brand called as Lily & Sid, biggest children's wear brand in the world, generating multi-million dollars in revenue, making whatever revenues you do. Now imagine this, if you're an online business, you expect online business to generate $1 million in revenue. The standard math says you might have to at least park in around $3, $4, $5 million of inventory to actually generate $1 million of revenue against it. So I'm just saying that at the end of the day, when you have so much of inventory lying in, and at the end of the day, these inventories are nothing but your dead stock, which is just piling up because you have already paid from the vendors that you have sourced this product in the first place. Now, the fastest thing for any brand is to sell them, get the money in the bank, and get the rolling going in, so that your working capital is the most utilized to its fuller extent. What we said is, and while we were building our feed engine, was how do we define a rule saying that the dead inventory is usually lying in 10,000 pieces in small, 20,000 pieces in double XL, triple XL, or if I'm talking about a footwear brand, there's size 13, size 6.5, size 7.5. I've got all these dead inventories lying in because the best selling sizes went out of stock, and now we have no idea what do we do about these pieces because we aren't promoting it aggressively, so people won't be able to discover these products in the first place, and now they're lying idle. We said, why don't we create an automatic system which creates a clearance page onto your website? Again, you can put a logic behind it saying that if my M, L, and XL, again, that's an example, so don't hold don't hold me to it. But you define your logic that if M goes out of stock, put the product on 10% off. L goes out of stock, put the product on 20% off. XL goes out of stock, put the product on 50% off and move it to my clearance page where I'm asking first for the size set of the individuals. They select size S and then all they see is all the clearance stuff that I have only in S. So your probability of liking something and still not finding is eradicated because you only see what you have selected as your size. And now you will be able to buy the product that you wanted to liquidate in the first place and get the money in the bank. So all these things are something that we have been working over hundreds and thousands of brands.
Who came up with this idea? Because it wasn't me. So I know that.
If it's a great idea, it has to be me.
Oh, Poojan.
Come on, Imran. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows. I was telling this to him, by the way, we were flying in from Mumbai to London and we were discussing about product ideas and what should we be building next, what should be our module 3, module 4, module 5. And then he's like, let's build a DSP or let's build this, let's build this. I'm like, let's not go out there saying what we want to build. Let's just understand what problem exists into the market and then build product accordingly. Yeah. So and I read it somewhere long ago saying that solve $1 billion problem and you're a billionaire already, right? And that's the intent, that if there's a problem, just solve it rather than trying to create a problem which wasn't there in the first place.
Yeah, for me, why I'm so excited, and I genuinely am probably more excited than you guys both realise, is the biggest issues that I face on a daily basis, stock and digital marketing spend, because it's a big chunk, it's a big chunk of my daily cash flow. So this product helps me solve stock. Yeah, it's nice. No, it's not going to be 100%, but it's going to take, even if it improves it by 10 or 20%. And with digital marketing, if it improves that by 10 or 20%, I've got a massive change in how my business works. In fact, I can actually then start looking at putting more things into stock, different types of product types, because I've got the confidence that we're going to get rid. And we're not only going to get rid of, traditionally we've got rid of it by giving it away, selling it at a loss, but we can make margin from it. So I think I am so excited that this product is going to help me not only with stock, but with digital performance marketing.
Exactly. And while we talked about the collection page results and how is it that the sorting works on there, right? We have the ability to transfer the knowledge, not just from the Shopify, so not just the inventory that's there, but also on the metrics that are part of Facebook or Meta or Google. So things like click-through rate, those things are not on Shopify, but those things are on the platform, which is Instagram. So whichever product has the highest click-through rate, take through them. On the other hand, we have seen cases, actually that was the case where the brand used to insist on promoting certain set of products, while because they had either too much inventory or their profit margins were on the higher side.
Yeah.
And the marketers, they decided that it is not up to us to promote those things because it's Facebook who does all the remarketing work. And that was the traditional answer, but that will no longer be the case. Now you have the full control on what is it that should be sold and how is it sold to the right audiences at the right time in the most efficient way. So that's our whole purpose.
If my digital marketing manager or my e-commerce manager came to me and installed this software, and that's how I view it, and I'm critical of I'm very critical of our software because I view it from my own perception.
By the way, we don't call it as software, we call it as a platform.
Platform, apologies. I'm very critical of my platform then, of our platform. I would be, because I always look at it, does it add value, right? So let's take reporting. It adds value because it's saving me time and my people are now able to look and analyze rather than just report. Right, so
just to add on to that, Imran, like as a brand owner, you usually go hiring an agency, and you expect these agencies to take all best possible calls for your brand in terms of sell the best selling inventory, get me the cash off all my dead stocks, give me the best possible ROAS, and everything that you're expecting is nothing but which uplifts your bottom line and increases your top line at the same time. Now, agencies usually operate in a 75-25% approach. Like 25% of agency staff are really, really smart in nature. Like you give them any damn brand, no matter how difficult, how easy, or how tough it is, they'll still crack it for you. I say you give them shit and they'll give you gold back.
Well, it has been lovely talking to you guys. I think everyone, including our audiences, has learned something about the problems in the market. And I think it has been fantastic.
I appreciate, us getting together, because I know, well, especially with Vatsal, we never know which country he's in, so it's nice for us all to get together and probably just share, some of our experiences. I think, for me, I'd love to do this more often. And I think what would be also, when we look back at this is present to the viewers, how the business has gone forward, and let's show the metrics, because it's all great us talking about it. But again, I don't come from your world. I want to see hard facts.
Exactly.
That would be my challenge. And it gives them a bit of confidence that what we're saying and what we're doing and what we're creating is actually making a real difference.
100% agree to what Imran has been saying. We should be doing this more often, because at the end of the day, there are thousands and thousands of brands who have been using our products. We clearly know what's working, what's not working, what products are selling, which part of the world they are selling in, what does the average returns in each of these categories look like. And it's really important that on the next podcast that we do, you share a screen on the site showing the analytics of what people have been buying across different parts of the world. They'll be so fantastic to show to people, saying that that's what the trend looks like. And I'm sure we have been building a lot of products. We have a lot of problems. We talk to thousands of brands on a monthly basis. It gives a lot more to share to other people who follow Strique, to just give them a bit of what we are doing, why we are doing it. It's not a random middle of a night thought saying that let's start building something tomorrow. It's a long, hard thought process of the products that we are building. Some work, some don't, but the intent of building it, there's some logic behind it, there's some emotion behind it, and the reason why we're building it. So I think doing this more often would give more information about why we are doing what we are doing. So yeah, we should be doing it more often.
Definitely.
I just want to say kudos to both of you too. I think we've got some of the world's biggest names in marketing joined us because of you two. There's no two ways about it. We've got Steve King, ex-chairman of the Publicis Group, who left in November after 34 years or something like that, and joined us. Incredible. Rick Bendel, ex-CMO of Walmart, biggest
Creator
retailer
of Black Friday.
The avocado story. We'll have to get him on the podcast. That's great, by the way. Joined us. We've got Matt Platts, ex-CEO of Dentsu Group, joined us on the strength of what you guys have done, built, thought of. So I think, you guys are very modest. I appreciate that. I take up the lack of modesty, but I think, next time we should have maybe all of us around the table, all these key, because the stories they come out with are great.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. If you have any questions, please do drop down in the comments. And the next time we have the podcast, we are going to have a look at all the questions, and Imran and Vatsal are going to answer those for you. Thank you so much.